Hello everybody, so as the video says, I'm going to improve your GM's negotiation skill greatly before you even start a game. And so I always have my franchise start level at terrible. I haven't played it any other way, and when you start your franchise at terrible, your GM has 60 for all three stats: finance, management and negotiations. In this video I'm going to tell you how you get your negotiation skill from 60 up to 82. The negotiation skill is very important in my opinion, as it will help you get lower contracts for all players, including the angry ones. Obviously 90 personality and above is the best you can get. That will help you in the contracts, but when you've got your negotiation skill in the 80s from the start, contracts will be even cheaper. So we first get into the game, and yep, I know it's doing #1 overall pick. I'll be trading that away for the first few seasons. Then for the sponsors, you'd always want to take the third choice because you get the most money, and your franchise, especially on extreme, won't be improving for quite a while yet, so just take the 3 years. It's the highest sign bonus and the highest yearly payment. Do that for all 4 sponsorships and you'll end up with the most money you can get. And as your franchise grows, you can then obviously shorten it to 2 years depending on how quick your franchise will grow after that. As for gear, until you actually start challenging, decline all gear. There is no point, it's a waste of money, because what it does is helps take up some players' overalls, so you don't need that yet. As for ticket prices, always go for the middle one, so fans are happy, affordable ticket prices. If you go for the expensive one, they lose 10% happiness. You don't want to do that right now, because over the next few seasons while you lose, they'll be getting more and more unhappy. Expectations. Rebuilding season won't be much. You'll be doing that for a few seasons. Even on easy mode, you'll probably do it for a couple of seasons. On challenging, I think I did that for still about 4 or 5 seasons. And on extreme, I suspect that's even more. You don't want to pick a goal that you definitely won't achieve, as if you fail to reach your goal, then the reward amount is cut like in half or maybe worse, and if you keep failing it'll keep getting less, and then the goals won't be worth anything. So always take a goal that you know you can achieve. So one of the first things I tend to do when a season starts, I trade away my best sort of couple of players I've got on the roster for a first round pick if I can, and in this case I've got 2 guys with decent value of about almost 6,000, and so I found that the Falcons' first round pick is worth 5,000, and in the early game you want to get a load of late round picks as well, because more draft picks means that your negotiation skill is going to go up. And so there I've just got a first rounder and 6 late round picks for 2 players who I don't need, and that's just helped me get my first trade as well, which is a nice little bump in negotiations to start off with. Then as you can see here, you've got terminate contracts, you've got negotiate contracts, and those themselves give a load of negotiations. Then you've also got the complete trades, that adds to your negotiations. You've got 25, 50 and 100. You then got draft players, as I just mentioned, draft 750 and 200. Again, all of this bumps up your negotiation skill. We'll be drafting 7 players in this draft, and after about 3 seasons I'd have liked you to have drafted 50 players, and then that'll get you your extra negotiation bump again. And then if you teach a staff member, there's another negotiation bump. The finances bumps and management will take a little bit longer, because they involve winning like player of the year from drafted players, etc., and upgrading your stadium and complexes, so that won't happen for a while. This is all about your negotiation skill. So yeah, let's get to the next tip. Right, next tip is where we're going to now bump the negotiations up by the biggest amount. This involves the negotiating a contract and terminating a contract skills. So what you want to do is go to your market, free agents, and change overall to maximum 55, and all these guys are worth 0.01 or 0.02 for their contracts. And so what you want to do is pretty much sign all of them, because you need to negotiate 500 contracts and you need to terminate 100 contracts in total. You get bumps for terminating 1, 25, 50 and 100 I believe it is, and you get negotiation bumps for negotiating one contract, and then I think it's 50, then 100, then 200, and altogether, you know, that's something like 10 to 12 in a negotiation bump. So you just need to sign loads of free agents, and if you run out of 55 overalls, change it to 60 overall and sign all them as well. And then once you've signed about 50 or 100, I'd then terminate them all, because terminating a contract actually includes itself in the negotiating a contract, so it covers both avenues. So once you've signed a load of free agents, you then cut them all, and then you'll get a massive negotiation bump. So after you've signed your first 100 free agents, I'll just check your mailbox, and then you want to cut 100 and then check your mailbox again, and then I'd sign another, say 100 free agents, or maybe just 50, and then I'd check your mailbox again, because keep checking for GM achievements, because sometimes the game glitches a little bit and it gives you it a little bit early or a little bit late after negotiation certain contracts. As you can see just there, I had got my negotiations up to 72 already, and now I've achieved 500 negotiations, and there's another 73, so now my negotiation skill is at 75 already. And now we can move on to the next tip, which is the trades. So what I'll try and do for the trades achievement is I'll go through all the teams and just see if anyone's pick matches one of my picks in value. So that's essentially all you're after. Check every team. Start from, because you've got the first pick, I'd start from the team with the 32nd pick and just go through their sort of 6th, 7th round picks, or all of them really, but it's usually the later ones that match up, and just see if, say, my 7th round pick in the first year matches up with their 7th round pick in the first year matches up with my 7th round pick in the last year, or something like that. And you'll eventually find a team where they match. In some games I've had to do 2 of my picks for one of their pick, and then you trade that back and forth. But in this one I managed to come across the Arizona Cardinals, and they had a pick that matched mine. And so my pick was my 7th pick in 2023, worth 62. And actually that was my Atlanta pick I traded, and theirs was a 2024 7th round pick, also worth 62. And so what you do now is you do that trade back and forth, and you keep trading those 2 picks until you've traded it 100 times, and then you'll get all the trade achievements. And eventually once you've done the 100, your negotiation skill improves by 4, but obviously you've got trade 1, trade 25, trade 50, and then trade 100, and now my negotiation skill is sitting at 82, and there's a 22 bump. And then finally there's still 2 more negotiation points you can get before you play your first game, and to do that, firstly you want to draft 7 players, or at least 7 players, but you actually want to draft as many as you can in the first draft. That gives you a bump of 1, and then also you want to teach a staff member a skill, just train them up, +1, you don't need to do +5 or 10, that's another bump for 1. So overall that's a 24 negotiation bump, and 24 is a huge jump, and that will help you with contracts in the future. So I hope the video helped, and look out for the next one. Catch you later.